Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to unlock a secret weapon for speaking English, one that makes you sound more powerful, more precise, and way more polite. And no, this is not going to be some boring grammar lesson. We're talking about 9 simple words that can totally transform the way you communicate. So, think about this sentence for a second. I need your help. What does that really mean? Is it a polite request, a suggestion, or is it more of a demand? It's a little unclear, isn't it? This is exactly where English can get a little tricky, but also where it gets really interesting. Nailing those subtle differences, the ones between asking nicely, suggesting something is possible, or saying something is absolutely necessary, that's what takes your communication from just basic to truly confident and effective. And today, we're going to nail it. Okay, so let's dive right in. The solution to all this confusion is a small, really special group of verbs. Think of them as your personal communication toolkit. They're called modal verbs, but really, you can just think of them as helper verbs. They team up with a main verb in a sentence to add all these extra layers of meaning. Things like how possible something is, or if you have permission to do it. They add that nuance we're all looking for. And here is the absolute best part. There are only 9 of them. That's it. Just 9 little words to master that will give you incredible control over your English. That sounds pretty manageable, right? Now, how in the world are you supposed to remember all 9? Well, check this out. There's a really easy trick. Just think 3 M's, 2 W's, 2 C's, and 2 S's. So the M's are must, might, and may. The W's, that's will and would. The C's are can and could. And finally, the S's are shall and should. And that's it. That's the whole team. Okay, so before we start using these amazing tools, we have to read the user manual, right? The great news is they all follow 5 really simple golden rules, which makes them super consistent and so easy to use. Rule number 1, a modal verb is always followed directly by another verb, and you never, ever put the word to in between them. So you'd say, I might go, not I might to go. Easy as that. Okay, rule number 2 is a huge relief for anyone learning English. Seriously, modal verbs don't get an S for he, she, or it. It is always she can swim, never she can swim. That's one less thing for us to worry about. Now for rule number 3, and this is where these verbs are just wonderfully simple. They never change. They don't have different past or future versions. The word itself just stays the same, which makes them incredibly reliable. Rule 4 is all about making negatives. And honestly, it could not be easier. You just add not right after the modal verb. For instance, you should not worry. The pattern is always the same. And of course, in everyday speech, we shorten these. This slide shows you exactly how. We use contractions, right? Will not becomes won't, cannot becomes can't. It is worth pointing out, though, that one of our modals, may, doesn't really have a common contraction. We just say may mo. And for our 5th and final rule, let's look at questions. To ask one, you just flip the modal verb and the subject. So the statement, you can help, becomes the question, can you help? It's a simple swap. So we have our 9 tools, and we've got the 5 rules. Now for the fun part. Let's actually put them into action and see how they create all these different shades of meaning in real life. First up, expressing possibility. Just look at the difference here. She might be late is really just a guess. But if you say they must be stuck in traffic, well, that's a much stronger logical conclusion. And then we could try a new restaurant. That's a nice, gentle suggestion. Each verb gives a totally different level of certainty. Modal verbs are also your best friend for navigating social situations. Asking, may I ask a question, sounds pretty formal and respectful, right? Can I ask a question is way more casual and relaxed. And if you want to make a really polite request, could you please help is absolutely perfect. They're also essential when you're talking about rules or giving advice. I must finish this report shows this really strong personal need. But you should take a break is much softer. It's friendly advice. And then you must not smoke here is a very clear, very firm rule. And sometimes it's the smallest change that makes the biggest difference. Asking someone, will you help me, is direct, sure. But just changing that one word to, would you help me, it instantly makes the request softer and a lot more polite. So let's bring this all the way back around. Remember that sentence from the beginning, I need your help, and how it felt a little vague? Well, we've found the solution. Now we have the tools to say exactly what we mean. And here is the most crucial point of all. Modal verbs are not just about grammar. They're the tools you use to express your personality, your politeness, and your unique way of seeing the world. They let you sound like you in English. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. Which one of these 9 verbs could you start using today to change how you communicate? How could it make your English clearer, or more polite, or just more confident? The power is totally in your hands.